गायत्री महामंत्र 3 बार साथ साथ। ओम भूर्भुवः स्वाहा तत्सवितुर्वरेण्यं भर्गो देवस्य धीमहि धियो यो नः प्रचोदयात्। ओम भूर्भुवः स्वाहा तत्सवितुर्वरेण्यं भर्गो देवस्य धीमहि धियो यो नः प्रचोदयात्। ओम भूर्भुवः स्वाहा तत्सवितुर्वरेण्यं भर्गो देवस्य धीमहि धियो यो नः प्रचोदयात्। गुरु वंदना। गुरुर्ब्रह्मा गुरुविष्णु गुरुदेव महेश्वराय गुरुदेव साक्षात् परब्रह्म तस्मै श्री गुरुवे नमः। अखंड मंडलाकारं व्याप्तं येन चराचरं तत्पदं दर्शितं येन तस्मै श्री गुरुवे नमः। ओम श्री गुरुवे नमः। आवाहयामि स्थापयामि ध्यायामि पूजयामि ततो नमस्कारं करोमि। As usual, we started by the recitation of Gayatri Mahamantra and then followed by invocation of the Guru. And here, when we term Guru, it means Munived Vyas, the one who scripted Srimad Bhagavad Gita, that is a part of a larger epic, Mahabharata. Today we further our journey from verse number 1 of chapter 5 to verse number 2 of chapter 5. What we term as verse in English is called as shloka in Sanskrit. So we are coming down to verse number 2. It says, Sannyasah karma yogah cha nih shreyaskarau ubhau tayoh tu karma sannyasat karma yogaha vishishyate. As we had mentioned in the last verse, in the verse number 1, Arjuna has raised a question before his master Krishna. The word Krishna has been derived from two different words, namely the first one is Krishna, Krish, another is Na. Krish means something that draws you, attracts you towards itself, something that is born with magnetic pull. And Na means something that is blissful. The one that is blissful, that is potent to draw, attract one towards itself, is termed as Krishna. Here, Arjuna has a mentor who is addressed as Krishna. In the verse number 1, Arjuna has posed a question before Krishna, his mentor, that I am not able to ascertain, I am not able to realize what is good for my evolution, what is good for my progress, my growth, whether it is renunciation of all karma, renunciate from all acts, action, or rather I should enjoin, I should channelize my energies towards karma, action, activity. I am in a dichotomy, I am in a confusion. And this question, although appears to be a very weird question, but yet it is meaningful over here. The format of teaching adopted by Munived Vyas, that ancient master which is timeless, that cannot be confined to any time, is such where while progressing, while furthering in his sermons, he also takes care of different state of mind that probably might misunderstand, misconstrue, might totally miss or evade to understand what exactly the teacher wants them to understand. Because in the same class, there are different state of mind of the students that are sitting at the same point of time. So while addressing everybody, and in order to reiterate the same fact again and again so that it goes down deep into the seekers, he has made a provision to ask weird questions through the subject called Arjuna. And as the question was there in the verse number 1, what is advisable for me for my evolution, whether it is renunciation from all karma or to immerse into karma, whether it is karma sannyas or karma yoga. Sannyas has been again derived from two words, which is sama and nyasa. Sam means in entirety, in completeness, and nyas means to renounce. Renunciation in entirety, renunciation in its completeness, renunciation in absolute terms, that is called as sannyas. Let us understand that one thing is for sure: unless one is able to purify one's insight, spiritual evolution is impossible. And to purify one's own insight, withdrawal is necessary. Now, that withdrawal in the absolute terms is something which is a state which can be acquired after a prolonged procedure, after a prolonged passage of several lives. It cannot be acquired immediately. It needs one to undergo a prolonged state where one keeps on evolving, failing, yet arising to accomplish. That aspect has to be understood. Why? Because if you dogmatically understand something which is called as renunciation in complete terms, and you merely become pretentious, and you alter your externalities as showing yourself as a renunciant, it's not going to lead you anywhere. We find that several people, when they read books merely in compliance to the text that they read, they try to become more pretentious, with a total disconnect of their own insight. Their insight is a total disconnect, whereas their externality, their pretentious part, is something that is in consonance with the text. For example, if it is said that the karma sannyasi is the one who renunciates all karma, and you appear to be a sage, and you evade all responsibilities, is it going to evolve you? No, it is not going to evolve anybody. Therefore, in the verse number 2, I am now coming down to the context of it. In verse number 2, the answer given by the timeless master to his subject Arjuna upon the question asked that what is advisable for me to renunciate from karma or to get immersed into it. The answer given is, Arjuna, although both the streams, both the aspects of the yoga, karma yoga and karma sannyas, both are advisable and both benefit the seeker. Yet, in capital letters, yet I would insist, I would profess, I would make a mention that karma yoga is better than karma sannyas. In simple term, it means, Arjuna, although both are good for a seeker to evolve in spiritual terms, but yet I would insist that immersion into activity, immersion into action, trying to scale higher levels of excellence through action is more advisable, and evolution towards higher standards of excellence through karma is called as karma yoga. Here in the verse number 2, Munivedvyas, the yogi, the timeless yogi, has given a special edge to all those people who would side by performing actions, who would side by getting engaged, who would side by taking charge of their life, who would side by trying to ascertain activity for their life and get immersed into that, and would seek to evolve through action, would seek to evolve through service. That is an edge which has been given by the timeless master. So he makes a mention. Why is it essential for us to understand? It is essential for us to understand because at times it happens, and mentioned a bit earlier, it happens that when we read spiritual text, we try to, or we generally might misconstrue the essence which is being imparted. And the misconstrued to this aspect is that withdrawal from activity, withdrawal from dispensation of one's mandatory obligations is better than karma yoga, getting engaged into activity. Because generally the human nature is propelled by propensities where it wants to withdraw, where it wants to enter into inertia, where it wants to remain in a state of inactivity, where it wants to be just undergo some sort of a cynical delusion and feels pleasure into that. Here the challenge has been thrown. Here the test has been determined. Here the scale has been ascertained for all times, that if you really want to evolve, get engaged into action, get engaged into activity, leave nothing at bare, have no confusions at all that mere withdrawal is going to evolve you, because mere withdrawal on dogmatic ends is going to mislead you. It's going to throw you from your evolutionary path. Therefore, get involved into activity. And any normal activity under karma yoga leads towards higher states of evolution, higher states of consciousness. Small activities of your business, familial, national service, or whatever it may be, they may pertain to any aspect. Ordinary dispensation of activities can sculpture your insight, because ultimately it's about insight. I'm going to give you an example, because examples at times help us a lot to understand the deeper meaning that is enshrined into the encrypted knowledge that comes to us in the form of these spiritual scriptures. Day before yesterday, I was witnessing a television interview given by Sundar Pichai, one of the topmost executives working with Google. He was being asked a question by the interviewer that, Pichai, tell me, what do you foresee in worldwide that is going to lead for a better reach of digitalization? The world is becoming digitalized, but yet we find lot many people who are not in a position to explore or afford this digital revolution. So what do you propose that the world has yet to see? He said that with all immediacy, I am looking for affordability of a smartphone, of a good smartphone to every single individual worldwide. And the scale or the level of the affordability we have been able to determine is a handset, a smartphone handset priced at $30. Generally, we observe that smartphones, they start from the range of something like $200 onwards, and they go up to $300, $400, $500. According to him, now the world has a challenge to create a smartphone, a good smartphone, a capable smartphone that is affordable by any commoner worldwide, because $30 has been somehow asserted as affordability by the majority. The day this kind of an equipment, this kind of a gadget is made available, it's going to experience a further escalation of the digital revolution that the world is waiting for. Second thing he said, we are also waiting that such technologies, such applications are developed that can be easily downloaded even at a lower bandwidth, so that wherever the bandwidth is a problem, even there the accessibility to the digitalization can be made possible. Now you understand this in the aspect of the karma yoga. All those people who will be engaged, deployed, or immersed into the development of such gadgets that are going to be priced for $30 each, all those people that will be deployed, immersed in whatever capacity, whether as source of employment or as entrepreneurs, whatever, it doesn't matter. On the spiritual platform, these modulations, the formats and the forms don't matter. What matter is what you are intentionally trying to accomplish. All those people who will be deployed are karma yogis, because their objective is one, to develop something that can reach, that can enable, that can capacitate the majority around the world to experience the digital revolution. Something that is able to eliminate darkness worldwide, ignorance worldwide, trying to capacitate any common person sitting in any remote area, trying to access, ability to access all modern informations, all that he must or she must know, he or she is able to know through this digital revolution. All that he or she must be able to perform, he or she is able to perform through this digital revolution. All those people engaged in whatever form into this kind of an activity are karma yogis. One must understand from the verse number 2, in order to evolve spiritually, you don't need to lead an ascetic life withdrawn from the dispensation of your obligations. You need not enter a recluse. You need not enter a hermitage merely to evolve on the spiritual terms. The spiritual evolution is very much possible by absolute engagement into activities that lead you towards cherishing, realization, or accomplishment of larger objectives. When you want to reach out through your activities, your actions, to benefit the majority, you are evolving at spiritual ends. Once this is understood, the essence of karma yoga will start finding its ground within your own existence. And that is the single point which Muni Vedvyas, the timeless teacher, is trying to inculcate into ageless, timeless Arjunas, because Arjuna is timeless. Arjuna has no age, and Arjuna was not there only in one time. Arjuna is all over wherever there is dichotomy, conflict, confusion. And Krishna is also timeless and ageless. Krishna was also not something that exists once at a time. It exists in the form of inspiration, in the form of knowledge, guidance, mentoring, wherever and to whomsoever it comes in any form. It is no form, it's not confined to any form, it has no limitation. So the verse number 2, by giving a special edge to all those people who are involved in cherishing objectives that intend to touch as service to a larger interest of the people, are the ones who are karma yogi. They shall evolve through the dispensation of activity, because an activity is a laboratory. What is activity? What is action? It is a laboratory. You cannot conduct any experiment without a laboratory. The laboratories are required to conduct experiments. Likewise, to conduct the experiments of personal evolution, of self-development, you need a laboratory. And that laboratory is your activities. All activities through which you earn your livelihood. All activities through which you engage into networking. All activities through which you dispense your familial obligations. All activities through which you try to reach out to through your national obligations. All these activities, irrespective of their own segment, are the ones that will lead you towards evolution. By undergoing self-assessment of any and all kind of activities that you perform, you will gradually evolve at the end of your insight. And evolution at the insight level is yoga. What is yoga? Yoga is to enjoin, to evolve, to grow, to take a leap towards higher realms of consciousness. And higher realms of consciousness are experiences at the levels of one's insight. And those experiences can be gathered better by commoners through activity. There are very few people who can afford to relinquish all activities and yet evolve. They are rarest of rare. The majority is not meant for that. The majority of the people like you and me have to evolve through action, activity of our lives. Therefore, there is no different prescription. According to Karma Yoga, there is no different prescription for one to evolve with the spiritual realms Any and every activity one is engaged into, when performed with a higher objective to benefit the interest of the larger masses, is something that becomes automatically a yoga. A politician, a soldier, an entrepreneur, anybody can become a yogi through whatever they are doing when it is done to benefit a larger interest. And that has been given a special edge by Muniveda Vyasa. Why? Because he wanted the timeless generations to come must learn through the means that are affordable. And the affordable means are evolved through action, evolved through activity. And the same goes at the end of a nation, at a universal level, that is international level, whether at the level of a spiritual pursuant. Even a spiritual pursuant, when he or she is engaged into spiritual activity deep inside its own meditation, it merely does not evolve. You can realize many things about your own self during meditation. Meditation enables you to realize, explore many new unknown things that you have not been able to discover. But yet, when it comes to experiment them, one has to live outward. You cannot remain inward and experiment all that you've realized. Even if you realize that you're a God inside, how are you going to accomplish? For accomplishment, an outward exercise of whatever has been experienced inward must be understood. The problem is that generally all procedures that help us to interiorize, we simply give them a special edge and we start practicing them and try to elude ourselves from all those engagements that are external. No, unless a nuptial knot, unless there is a wedding between all that leads you to interiorize, between all that you experience in the inward state to the activities that you perform outward, your accomplishment towards evolution is not going to become possible. In the boardroom, if you're sitting on the office desk, wherever you are a yogi. Believe it and start performing your acts with a higher objective to serve masses, to serve higher objectives that is going to lead you towards evolution according to Karma Yoga. We shall return back the same way for the next verse of the chapter number 5, that is the verse number 3, on the time prescribed of the program every second and last Sunday, 9 a.m. IST. Till then, Om Shanti, 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 Om.